My function as the PM Cowboy is kind of to be the, are you familiar with the term DAU? Mm-hmm. The dumbest assumed user. I call myself, when people say, well, your title is consultant and trainer, or what, I prefer the term PM Cowboy. I prefer the term super DAU. And I love what you mentioned. You mentioned a key word, which I think is gone under a little bit, is the word humility. I think the good leaders, and that's some of the people we're trying to address here, people who are listening to this might be saying, hey, listen, I'm a decision maker. I feel the pressure from shareholders or from other owners that I need to do something. It's on my to-do list. I have to do something for AI. And I think a lot of them suffer under this classical study that Harvard Business Review has done several times that has established that the number one fear of executives is the imposter syndrome, which is pre-programmed. Okay, and I think that's actually a master skill. If you know what you don't know, and have the intelligence and the humility and the courage to ask the questions that might, some people say, well, those are stupid questions. I think some of the best questions in the world are the stupid ones, and that's kind of my role, to ask the stupid questions. I don't really like the first question that I had sent you. It's kind of the classical, pragmatic question. If I'm a decision maker in a company, what tool set should I buy? I'm not a big fan of buying tools as a solution. I'm more interested in what's the overall strategy and focus. And you mentioned the fact that there's 895 jobs that are out there. I don't think most companies have a clear understanding of the classical what, where, why I'm even using the system for. Is there kind of maybe a short or longer, however you prefer, kind of placating statement that you can give to our listeners who are decision makers out there on where the starting point is? How do they play the game? Because I think it's important to be on the field and be involved. Is there a minimum kind of entry level recommendation you would give to executives to say, well, where do I need? How far do we need to be along in the maturity cycle of things?
Sure. I'll give you an answer which doesn't directly answer your question. Well, actually, it's twisted around a little bit. So
that's fine.
Here's why. The natural starting point is I don't think is that difficult. The hard part is not stopping there. Okay. So the natural starting point is, what can AI do? How can I actually use it in my organization? What tasks can I assign to it? Yeah. Can I delegate to it? Yeah. And how can I find efficiencies? Because this new technology can do lots of things. It operates in this massive, sort of combinatorial space. Its accomplishment. That's great. That's the starting point. That's easy to do. It's an efficiency play. It's what people hear from everything from their investors. They hear from Wall Street. They hear on CNBC. They hear from Davos, right? And I watched a fascinating interview with a CEO recently on CNBC, and the interviewer was just like, "You're not answering my question. What percentage of people are you going to fire?" And I'm like, yeah. Well, that's really that's really simplistic, honestly. Because the starting point can't stop there. The thing that I think is that once you find those pockets of efficiency, the question is, what are you going to do with it? Because the genius of this is you've just made time. And one of the things that every human being pretty much, I think, would like more of is time. On a daily basis, monthly, weekly, our whole lifespan. We just like a bit more time. Now, when you ever find pockets of efficiency, why it's so special is because you're making time. Now, suddenly I have an extra few minutes, hours, I've got a day, whatever it is across your world. So the question for leaders, and the hard part is, okay, now your people have more time. What are you going to have them do with it? Now, there's some people who say, well, I'm just going to get rid of my people. Right? I can get the same amount done with fewer people. It's lower cost. And so therefore, I'm dropping more money to the bottom line. That's great. Your investors will applaud you for a quarter or two. And then they're going to turn around and say, okay, what's next? Where's your growth coming from? Those tools aren't going to tell you where the growth's coming from. And then especially not going to tell you anything different, because they're the exact same tools that all your competitors are using. The only thing that's going to come up with new ideas are people, right? And the weird, messy group of people that you happen to have hired are the people that are going to come up with the new ideas. So sort of our ideas make time for what matters more. Now, what matters more totally depends on who you are. If you're an individual, what matters more might be that you suddenly have time to go home and spend time with your kids. You might have time for a second job, right?